Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's session, Mastering Digital Sales. I'm Dean Seddon, the host of tonight's session, founder of Maverrik. So please do get yourselves ready, shut other distractions down. We're going to talk about some key principles of trying to sell through digital channels. If you're watching me, you can hear me. This is all coming out through the internet on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching. Please let me know in the chat that you can hear me, you can see me. We're going to start in 3 minutes, so I just want to make sure the audio is okay. So just let me know in the chat if you can see me, hear me, and all that kind of stuff. That'd be great. And you've got a couple of minutes to kind of get a drink, get some notepads, get a notepad and pen, and we'll kickstart in just a couple of minutes' time. We're going to be looking at tonight some of the key things you need to get your head round, get implemented in selling in a way that isn't pushy, but also performs and delivers the results you want. Hi, Duncan, welcome. Let me know where you're from as well whilst we're waiting for everybody to join. So Duncan's joined us, Jeswin's here, Tahida, my eyes are not very good today, but Tahida and some others. So let us know where you're from and we will get started in 1 minute's time. So just whilst we're waiting for everybody to join, get the live out there and make it all kick in. I just want to share a story with you because it's helpful to you to understand my perspective on sales. So Duncan, Plymouth. I'm broadcasting from Plymouth tonight. Jeswin from India, awesome. My perspective is I have been involved in sales and marketing all of my career, pretty much. Hi Luke from the live stream desk. All of my career I've been involved in sales and marketing. But some of my early jobs in my career were sales jobs and I absolutely hated cold calling. And so for 20 plus years, I've tried to do and developed models that you can get meetings with clients, get meetings with prospects without doing the cold call. So when somebody joins our team here and they've been in a sales role, they have this shock of you are not allowed to cold call. And we practice what we preach. So tonight I'm going to show you some of the principles behind how we've managed to build our business, grow our revenue without cold calling. So if you're watching, brilliant. We're going to kickstart. I think there's about 100 people across all the channels watching, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you can see me, give us a thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to kickstart now. So if you've never been to a Maverrik event before or a free training, this is a free training session. There is no big pitch buy now at the end. That's not there. If you want to know more about what we do, great. But this is actually a training session. So it's not a secret training session that's actually a sales pitch. It's a full-blown training session. And my goal, my success for you tonight is that you think differently about selling so you feel more confident in selling and you don't feel like you have to change your personality to sell. So that's really what my aim is for you tonight. If you've never been to our events, Maverrik is a training business. We train people, we consult with companies to help them grow their revenue, and we help them do it through organic and social selling and digital selling. So hi Susie. So there's a few of you joining on all the different channels now. Awesome. So this is what we're going to look at tonight, and I'll just pull back so you can see it. Ooh. Technology. Hi George as well. So what we're looking to do is literally, it's me. It's me on the computer. So what we're looking to do is go through 3 things. It's nothing worse than technology, right? You plan everything and then reboots and blue screens and all that stuff. But thankfully, we've not got a blue screen tonight. So first things first, understand your prospects. Second, how you leverage curiosity. And then the third one, the mechanics of meetings. So that's the 3 things that we're going to look at tonight. And I'm going to give you some examples of how that works. So understand your prospects, leverage curiosity, and the mechanics of meetings. During tonight's session, I'm going to give you some free resources. They're absolutely free. And I'll put an email address. I'm going to try and do it right. an email address on screen, there, so that you can email us and say, Dean said I can have this for free. Can you send it to me? It's just some simple worksheets that will help you put this together. So if you get to a point and you go, oh, I wonder how I do that, just email us and say, in this session, Dean shared about this. Can you provide me with more information? They'll send you the free resource. Okay, let's kickstart. So the first thing that we need to understand in understanding our prospects is we have to understand their journey. This is the most pivotal element if you want to sell and you want to build a strong future pipeline. It's absolutely critical. So this is our sales journey. It's the very simple sales journey. It's the simplest of sales journeys. And I'm gonna say something that some people are going to disagree with me, but I'm going to say it anyway because I believe it. The reason a lot of businesses struggle to sell and sell consistently is because a lot of their strategies, a lot of their plans are far too complicated. They're so complicated they can't be instinctively followed. So your sales plan, your sales strategy has to be instinctively able, people have to instinctively be able to implement it and leverage it on a daily basis. I've seen companies and I've been into companies with huge, like wedges of strategy documents, and it's the best strategy document you've ever seen. But when you actually get to the coalface, when you get to the reality where there's the salespeople with a phone, an email account and a LinkedIn, they don't, I was going to swear then, but they don't even read it. They have to work out what they're going to do on the ground. So sometimes what happens is the strategy and what happens on the ground becomes disconnected. And it's because it's not clear enough, it's not straightforward enough, and it's not practical enough to be implemented in real life on the ground. So what we've done is develop some real simple ways to explain sales, and actually inside of about 2 to 3 months, we can take somebody who's never done sales before and get them into a place where they're confidently booking meetings because we make sales simple. So this is the sales journey that every customer goes on. Now, we're not talking here about your sales journey, we're talking about the customer's sales journey. And this first point here is all about leaving your head behind and getting into the customer's head, the prospect's head, starting to think like they think. You look at your inbox, look at your sales message, look at your junk folder, look at all of those things, and you will see, not from millions, every day somebody trying to sell you without understanding the customer's sales journey, the customer's side, the customer's perspective. And what happens is you go, that's a load of crap, I don't even see why I need it, and get rid of it or ignore it. So I'll go into why we do that and why it goes wrong. But the first thing I want you to think about is the sales journey that every customer goes on. Some might break it down and make it more detailed, but every business, every customer, every prospect goes on this journey. So let me just explain it for you. Stage 1 is the problem aware stage. They realize something isn't working as well as it should, and they really want to resolve that issue. So they want to get out of pain. The next thing is they start to map out what they want to achieve in reality. What's the benefits they want? What's the results they want? So if they're struggling with issue X, they want to get to destination Y. If they're at problem A, they want to get to outcome B. So if I'm a business owner and my website's getting no visitors, I'm unhappy with the website getting no visitors. I'm unhappy with that situation. I'm unhappy with the fact that I've paid this money for the website and nobody's coming. I'm unhappy that I'm not getting inbound leads. I'm unhappy with lots of things because my website isn't getting me traffic. Then I become focused on the outcome. So the outcome. So when we start focusing on the outcome, this is where we end up in a situation where we want more leads, we want more traffic, we want more people coming to the website. We start to define what the benefit is we want. We start to define the benefits that we want. Then we reach a point where we've gone, enough is enough, we've got to do something about this. So customers, prospects will sit with problems and aims for outcomes for a long time. They will sit there and hover over them, and some people, as I call it, will live with a limp. And they will live with a limp for a long time until they go, enough is enough. We need to change this. This has to happen. And at that point, they start to research and go into detailed research to decide on how they change it. How they change. So not what they do, what service provider, not what solution, what type of way to fix it, but that how they want. They start to research how they want to change it. So for an example, somebody might Google here, how do I get more traffic to my website? How do I get more leads and inquiries from my website? That's what they are looking for at that stage. And in that research stage, in that digging stage, they crystallize their preferred method of solution. So they come out of problem and outcome, and they're still focused on problem and outcome, but they're now focused on actually the way to change this is Google Ads. So if we want more traffic to our website, we want more inbound leads, we need Google Ads. And so they build up their confidence about Google Ads, they fix their minds on Google Ads, and then they start to look for Google Ads companies, Google Ads agencies. So if you're selling Facebook ads, if you're selling SEO, if you're selling any other method, once they get to here, they're not interested. They're only interested in Google Ads people once they get beyond this stage. If you're a Google Ads company and you meet the customer down here, you will be in a competitive process. Hopefully that makes sense. So the closer they get to the solution, the more defined they make the solution. With the extreme of this scenario being they go out to tender, 3 quotes, RFPs, RFQs, all of that. So here is where we really want to meet the customers. Here. Not here and not here. We want to meet the customers and the prospects in this phase here, just before they make their decision to change. The reason being is statistically in B2B, if you are the first person that a customer or prospect speaks to, they are 80% likely to buy from you. And so what happens is you can be the leader in this market, and actually you can help define the market, and then every solution that they see is defined by you. It is laid out by you. So this is the process people go on, and the closer they get to here, the more competitive the process is. So what you see is some salespeople in the mindset of down here, and what happens is they send messages saying, hey, do you need Google Ads? And they send that to lots of people. We can build great Google Ad campaigns, great Google, and they're only people to be appealing to people who've already made this decision. Now, the logic of doing that is, well, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my time with the wrong prospects. But actually, the margin, the profitability is down here, because this is where the value is. The value is in unlocking the problem for the customer. Down here, once you get down here, it's more about the criteria of the way you do it and whether they like it, whether it fits, whether you're the right company for them, whether you've got the experience for them, whether you are prettier in the beauty parade of other companies they're talking to. Down here, your value is in unlocking the problem. So you need to get down here, and it's a different world down here in terms of messaging, in terms of the way you communicate. And the beautiful thing is, if you focus down here at problem and outcome, you can actually influence people down here to come back to you. But if you speak to people down here If you said Google Ads and used, do you need Google Ads? Do you need Google Ads? They might go, some of them might go, maybe I should get Google Ads, but some of them are going, why would I spend any more money on a website that isn't getting me any leads? Why would I waste any more money? So it's a different message. It's a different message down here than down here, but the message here can appeal to the people down there. So the further we get to the solution, the more competitive the process will be. This is foundational to everything that we teach about selling through digital mediums. Because if you don't understand this, you end up appealing to just the people who are commoditized buying. And ultimately down here, it is commoditized buying. So you really have to discover your prospect's current reality. So if we think about it and go, where are these people now? So I've got a product, you've got a product, we've got services. For our customers to need our service, what's their current reality? What is their current reality right now today? What's the frustrations and challenges that they're facing in their own world, in their own words, to want the benefits and outcomes that you can deliver? Or another way of looking at it is going, what's the benefits and outcomes we can deliver for our customers, and reverse engineer what's their life like now without it? So let's think of this in a B2B context. If you're providing leads through their website, what are the problems they've got now? The problems is they've got a website with no traffic, no leads. They're frustrated. Maybe they've paid a lot of money for this website. Maybe the website's really old and so it's not getting leads. Maybe their competitors higher in Google. All of these scenarios might be happening. One of the worksheets that I'm going to share with you, if you want it, is what we call our one client profile, which helps you understand why people need you. Now, you'd be surprised how many people can't answer this question. And it is actually a difficult question. Why do people need you? Why do people need you over and above your competition? If your customer, if your prospect is currently with a competitor, what's their current reality that they need your benefits? What's the challenges they're having with their existing supply arrangements that they need you? And this is really important to get, because if you want to get people to take action, you want people to see value, you have to know this. You have to know this. Now, the first attempt at working through this will be difficult. You'll get stuck, you'll fry your brain doing it, but this is the way it works. And once you find this key message, it actually becomes your value proposition, because the current reality of the customers is here, the benefits of your service is here, and so all you're doing is aligning the customer's need to your benefits, and the tool to get them from the A to B, from pain to outcome, from pain to result, from current reality to your client where they're receiving all the benefits of your products and services. The tool to get there is your products and services. So what we often think of in our world, we think this is a customer without us, this is a customer, this is a prospect, this is a customer, and now they've got our product. No, no, no. Your job is to show a prospect that if they become a customer, they get this. And the vehicle is to buy the product or service, to contract, to sign, to sign up, whatever it is you're selling. To the customer, your product or service is a tool to achieve an outcome. It's a gadget. It's a vehicle to get them to a destination. That's it. Yeah. We get over obsessed with our product and service, and we want to tell them how many awards it's won, how amazing it is, and all the gadgets it can do. But what the customer's interested in is, can it get me from here to here? And do I believe you that it can do what it says it can do? All the other benefits, all the other features, all the bells and whistles just justify the decision. But actually the real decision is, do I believe you can get me to here? And if I believe you can get me to here and the value exchange is right, you have a sale. Hopefully you're all still awake. If you are still awake, please let me know. If I've put you to sleep on a Tuesday night, I'll try and animate myself a little bit more, but let me know if you're hearing this and you're getting this. So if you want this worksheet, Luke will put it up on screen so you can have a little bit of a preview. If you want this worksheet, you can email us and we'll send you a copy of it. It's absolutely free. There's no charge for it. It is a bit of work to figure it out, but the email's on screen if you want a copy of this worksheet. So it will really help you define who you're trying to talk to and the challenges that they're facing. So have a look at that. It's a really useful tool. Whether you're a salesperson or a sales leader, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a marketer, this will help you understand how to communicate with your prospect and how to understand them better. So if you want a copy of it, email us. So just a quick summary. What's not working? That means they need you. What's not working? That means they need you. What's their current reality and what's not working? So here's the exercise I want you to do. I've explained about the sales journey. If you want the slides, by the way, at the end, I'll give you the email to link to get the slides. But what's not working, find the pain points, find the challenges your customers have in their words. Don't put your industry jargon on it. Don't put your techno babble on it. Just literally explain, this is what they're frustrated about. I often say to people, think about it like you're thinking about it in the head, right? And write them down. It doesn't matter how ridiculous they are. It might be the first thing you go is, yeah, I'm fed up of this. And you might use more colourful language than that. But literally you start writing about it and start writing about what's the knock-on of this problem? What else is happening because of this problem? What's the long-term issues that this is going to create in their business if they don't fix this problem? You need to understand those, because when you start to communicate with the customer, you'll want them to see what the cost of inaction is. So if you want a customer to make a decision, they have to understand in their own mind what the cost of inaction is. Often people say to me, oh, we can make real big savings in the business in terms of man hours and things like that. The problem is that sometimes the savings don't stack up in the prospect's mind. They might be perfectly logical on paper, but they don't seem believable. And belief and facts sometimes are different. Sometimes people don't believe something even though the facts are true. Yeah, we've seen this in media and politics and all of this stuff. But sometimes what we do is we try to make a logical case. But belief is actually an emotional decision as well. There's emotion involved. Even in big businesses, even in big deals, there's emotion involved. Do we believe that these savings, these results are actually achievable? And there's a whole training session we can talk about on business belief and building belief with prospects. But we'll maybe cover a little bit of it tonight. So find your pain points. And again, if you want the worksheet, just drop us a line on email and we'll send it to you. So the next one here is curiosity. This is a powerful tool for you and your business. And if you get this right, it will help you in social media, it will help you in content, it will help you in messaging, it will help you in emails. Curiosity is the most powerful tool you can have in your arsenal for sales and marketing. And I'll tell you why. You see lots of people blasting us with marketing messages about how wonderful they are, how many awards they've won and all this stuff, but none of it is creating curiosity. Look at how you behave on social media. Look how you behave on social media. People put pictures up and you end up spending hours browsing things because you're curious and you're intrigued. You can burn hours and hours and hours if you're curious. But what we tend to do is try and front load lots of information on people, like dump sales spiel and marketing on people, and hope and believe logically that if they know all the facts, they're obviously going to make a positive decision. That's not true. People don't make logical decisions. They make decisions based on emotion and actually justify with logic. So curiosity is a powerful tool. The mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size. Now, very famous quote, Albert Einstein, I think it was. But the point is that once you create curiosity, they have to know. Yeah. Once you create curiosity in a person, they can't move on past it. They have to find out. They have to resolve that question mark. Just look at your own TV viewing. Look at your own behavior on social media. People put stuff up, I can't believe that, and you want to know what they can't believe. Line of Duty did it for 10 years, keeping us on suspense at the end of every episode. Except the last episode, but we'll not go there. JR, biggest whodunit, biggest cliffhanger, who killed JR? Very old one, but again, human beings are human beings. You're selling to human beings. We're not selling to robots. Just because it's B2B does not mean we're not selling to human beings. And human beings have this issue with curiosity. They can't browse past it. If you provoke them and create curiosity in them, they have to resolve it. And so what we sometimes do is we build our sales process, we build our roadmap, as we would call it, to the sale. But what we tend to do is bypass all of the curiosity that gets us from stage to stage to stage. We bypass all of that and actually try and go in for the kill. And what happens is we end up burning prospects. And in our data protection, GDPR world, you cannot afford to burn prospects. Because if they say, no thanks, please remove me, you can't go back. You can't undo what you've done. So by all means, build your sales process, but use curiosity to just sell the next step. So let me talk about some of the stages in terms of what you have to do to achieve a sale. But it's selling the next step. And fundamentally, the goal is to get a meeting. Your first goal in your sales process is to actually get a conversation and a meeting. The goal of the first meeting is to clarify their need and show that you can fill it, or give them curiosity or intrigue or interest or an indication that you can solve it. You can solve the problem. So they've got to know you exist. Curiosity, I need to know more about this person. They're interesting, let's have a meeting. Do I believe you can solve my problem? Is the value exchange fair? And is the value exchange, does it stack up? Okay, I'm going to buy. Decision. Now, yes, of course, there'll be budget factors and approvals from above and all of those things. That's life. You can't magic those away. But the process we're taking people on is the goal is a meeting. Why does this matter? Why does this matter? It matters because so many people are blasting people, hoping that facts will help them get meetings, when actually curiosity will get them meetings. Curiosity and going, we know something you don't know. Maybe not that direct, but we know something that will help you, and we just want to talk to you about it and explain it. And my own team, as Maverrik, we've built the team from 2014, it was me as a consultant, to 2018, it was 7 people, to today there's 30 people all learning this process and implementing it for themselves. So the goal is a meeting, and then from there you get the sale. What we see on LinkedIn, on email, is people blasting, telling you all sorts of stuff about how amazing it is, and then saying, do you want a meeting? When you do that, you create consideration without a conversation. Consideration without a conversation. So what happens is you give people enough information to actually consider whether it's valuable to have a meeting with you before you've actually had a conversation. Now, why is that bad? Why is it bad to give loads of information to try and convince people onto a call? Because they can evaluate the offer that you're putting in front of them without them. In a conversation, you learn all about their business, you learn all about what they're trying to achieve, you learn all of their benefits, you learn all of their challenges, and you can tailor your proposal, you can tailor your offering to their need. If you blast them with information, you might put the information in such a way, or you might present the information in such a way that go, that's not my problem, it's irrelevant to me, that's not relevant. But it's just because you didn't get the right angle or the right perspective, or you didn't tailor it. How many times have you been in a meeting where you've said one thing in the meeting with a prospect, one thing, and it was supposed to be just a throwaway part of the comment, and for the rest of the meeting, the prospect has locked horns on that one point. And that one point becomes like a stumbling block in the whole meeting that you can't seem to get the prospect off. Yeah, same in election campaigns. We see this in election campaigns. People try and define the messaging. Theresa May famously did this in 2017, where she said strong and stable, and she just kept repeating it. But the message didn't stick with the public, and so what stuck was weak and wobbly. And she lost ground because the message wasn't sharp enough for the audience who need to hear it. You can't adequately do justice to your product or service in an email, a LinkedIn message, or any of those. You can't do it. You can't demonstrate without talking to a prospect how it can make a difference, because you don't know what their specific issue. You might know broadly what their issue is, but you can't nail it specifically. So if you go consideration before conversation and blast them with information, you get less conversation, and so the prospecting ends because they say no thanks. So the goal of all of your activity, emails, first emails, LinkedIn, all of that stuff that you're doing is just to create enough interest to get to the conversation. Zoom call, video call, phone call, whatever it is, you've booked a call. So the goal is a meeting. So what you're selling up to this stage, up to the stage where you're actually in a two-way conversation, what you're actually selling is the value and the interest and the potential benefit of a call. That's different from the benefit of the product or service. It's totally different. So you're selling a call or a meeting. You're not selling the product. You're not selling the service. So up to this point, it's about the call. And at that point, you need to get the clarity. You need to understand their pain in detail. So they should be talking a lot to explain their issue to you. And you should be guiding them to show them how your product or service can solve that problem. That's part of how belief is established. Belief is established by lots of different ways. One is by articulating the customer's needs in an accurate way. So just speaking in the way that they understand. Belief is created by repetition, and belief is created by visibility and relationship. So all of these things play a factor, and belief is simply their instinct that they think you're the best option. When your prospect thinks you're the best option, even if there's other decision makers in that process, they will fight for your option. They will fight for your option. That's how it works. And so they buy. Hopefully I'm not putting you all to sleep here. So let's see what's questions there. Nicola from Serbia. Susie. Susie's going to email us for the replay. She's got to run. So this is really, really important. So the exercise here is sell the next step, not the whole road. Think just the steps ahead. I've got to create curiosity to get them into a meeting. That's the first bit. So what do I need to do to achieve that? So now we get to the mechanics of meetings, and we're going to have some time for Q&A here as well. So the mechanics of meetings. In B2B, we really have three main channels. There's more, but three mainly as organic sales channels. We have LinkedIn, we have the phone, and we have email. There's others, Facebook and all that kind of stuff, but really these are the key sales channels for B2B. So when we look at these, we go, what's the mechanics of the meeting? So LinkedIn, phone calls, emails. That's what we've got. Now, I'll just rip through some of the obvious strategies. Number one is you got cold calling. So you dial people up and call them. Yeah, very common. Statistically, not the most successful, but it is a method that's become widely adopted. What's the next one? Email. So cold email, churning out template messages that's got bits of personalization and running an email farm. Again, we'll look at some stats of that in a minute. And then we got LinkedIn. And the most clinical LinkedIn is connect and pitch. Very common strategy. Connect, send a sales pitch. Connect, send a sales pitch. If you think of those three things that I've just said to you there, LinkedIn, cold call, and email, they're all exactly the same. They're all the same strategy, just translated onto a different channel. So when we look at this, we go, and I stole this from a company who does lead gen. This is their statistics of success with that process. Now, I'm not picking on any particular lead gen. It's just the fact that there's got to be a better way. When you look at their stats here, and their stats are pretty fair to be, I'm not critiquing them and going there how bad it is. Industry average is about this. So 1,000 prospects equals 4 sales. 1,000 prospects equals 4 sales. No wonder you need automation to do that. No wonder. How the hell are you supposed to manage 1,000 prospects by human hands a month? My God. So this is their process. And there's lots of other people's processes that are similar. But here's the problem. It has a 99% failure rate. 99% of the time it doesn't work. So you're doing something almost to get one in 100. If that, no. Yeah, 1 in 100, if you're lucky. This process here has a 0.4% success rate, sale rate. So you look at that and go, that's not a skilled sale. There's no skill in that. It's anybody can do it. And that's the attraction. That's the attraction of these kind of straightforward models. That's the attraction. But the problem is, it actually appeals to the people on the far end of the spectrum. You can't do it well enough to actually create enough curiosity. What do we think, honestly? In fact, let's role play. I come to your business as a salesman, and you say to me, so Dean, what's your success been with selling? And I go, well, actually, what I do is I copy and paste the same message, just personalize it a little bit, and just send it over and over and over again. And if I send 1,000, or if I send 100, I get 1 sale. Some people might go, okay, I can see he spends a whole day doing it, he gets a sale. So if you think of the sale, let's say the sale's 5 grand, and you pay me 30 grand a year, you go, well, okay, so he could be doing that all day long, every day, and generate 5 grand's worth of sales a day. So you might go, wow, that's worth it. I can get 25 grand a week in sales from him, and he cost me 30 grand a year. The problem is GDPR, privacy, and all of those things. Because what happens to all the people who go, bluntly, piss off, Dean, you're annoying me with your messages or doing it. What happens to the 99%? What happens to the 99 while you're going after 1? Well, what happens to the 99 is this. Some of them just block you, some of them ignore you, some of you go, no thanks. Because we're trying to find an easy path, or the easiest path to a sale, we actually eliminate sales that could have happened. So in pursuit of the low-hanging fruit, oh, that rhymes, pursuit of the low-hanging fruit, I think it rhymes, we end up knocking people out who could have been customers. And then some of them we can't go back to. Some of them we've permanently burnt. Some of them we might have to wait a long time to go back. So Dean, who's doing his 100 emails a day and copy and pasting and all of that stuff, will get you results. But in a few weeks' time, Dean's pipeline will dry up pretty quick because Dean's ability to source new prospects will disappear. Because there's only so many prospects you can find, even if you've got 10,000 customers. 10,000 customers in this model doesn't go a long way. You could go through 10,000 customers, even at 1%, yeah, would get you 100 sales. Yeah, so 10,000 gets you 100 sales on this model. So it just isn't very sustainable and it isn't very scalable. It seems scalable in the short term, but in the long term, it just doesn't work. So the mechanics of meetings with social selling is the first one. So LinkedIn, obviously, a lot of people are used to the churn and burn. But what we've developed, and you can have this checklist, again, if you want to email us, I'll put the email on screen. It's a simple strategy you can use to get meetings with prospects. And it's very simple. Create relationships, build belief, create curiosity, book meetings. There's some reminders. People buy solutions to problems. Point 1. Belief is earned through consistency and visibility. The bigger the sale, the longer the process. People buy from people they know, they like, and they trust. They don't buy from complete strangers. Whatever you say, people do not buy from complete strangers. They will make an effort before they commit to a purchase to in some way, shape or form get to know you. In our social selling model, we actually teach you to get the prospects can get to know you before you ever get into a meeting or conversation. So it feels more relaxed, more relational, less pressure on you, but also it's an easier sell. So there's a whole step-by-step process on this little checklist that you can use. The email's on screen if you want to copy. We'll email it to you. Rex, right, Rex has put something up and I'm sure he's jesting here. But he is jesting. Some people do what Rex is suggesting here. I don't know whether we can put Rex's joke comment up on screen. I can live with 100 sales a year since my contracts are 200k a piece. Let me just be, Rex is having a good giggle with us here. Some people actually think like Rex. Even though Rex is joking, they think it really. They think they can sell a 200k or sometimes £1 million product by literally copy and paste messaging. Just does not work. Does not work. The reality is any form of sales is going to be a bit disruptive. You're trying to interrupt people. That's just the nature of sales. The idea is you will interrupt them effectively enough that they get value from it. So that's what we're trying to do. So we're interrupting people because it is sales, but we're trying to do it in the best way where, one, it's the least disruptive, but it's the most valuable disruption. Cold calling is not a valuable disruption. It's actually quite frustrating and annoying, particularly when some people cold call you and trick you onto the call. So they say, I'm just following up after our meeting last week. I want to set another time. Or they pretend that they know you and all this stuff. I've had this. And it's a strategy people use to trick you into a call. So simple checklist you can have. We'll email us and you can have it. Now, when we come to the mechanics of meetings with emails, this is again a bit different from LinkedIn, and you can mix all of these tools together. So you can mix LinkedIn and emails and calls together in various different ways. The aim being is what's the most successful way to get a meeting booked with a prospect that creates the least amount of disruption to them. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find the easiest road for the prospect to a meeting, not the easiest road for us. And that's the difference here. The easiest road for us is to blast people. The easiest road for the prospect is where they feel that they're getting value and it's worth their time and they're curious to know more. So this is an email from somebody who was on my workshop last week about social selling, digital selling, who's a veteran in sales. So I thought I'd share this because it gives you the point and explains how this works. And then I'll explain what I taught. So Dean, I'm going to level with you. I didn't have high hopes for our time together last week. I did 10 years of enterprise software startups, so I had death by social selling courses previously. I've got a ton of delivery to execute as I lead projects here. I just thought I'd let you know that after our chat on Monday, I refocused some of our medium value target email sequence messaging and got a 51% open rate on a batch of 35 with 10 clicks and 2 replies from email 1 in a sequence which is unheard of. So this is somebody saying, actually, when you change the strategy, those things that haven't worked start to work better. Now, when we do this kind of outreach, we don't sequence like this person does, but when we do it, we get a 30% reply rate. Not opens, not clicks, replies, 30%. Why? Because we make it about totally focused on the customer, and we make it really personal, like really personal. So the more personal the meeting gets, the more personal the email gets, the more detailed an understanding of their challenges and frustrations it gets, the more response you get. So I can send, and I did this example, if somebody sent 100 emails, copy and paste, all the classic stuff, 100 emails, they'd probably get, if they were lucky, 1 reply. If I send 12, I get 3. So there's the difference. Hyper-personalised. No automation, by the way, can personalise well enough. No automation can personalise well enough. So you have to become an expert in crafting emails that are relevant to your prospects. That's not you buying a course or you going on the how to get sales from email course and spending £10,000 on it. It's about you learning everything in this session. Whilst we're going through it at breakneck speed here, everything in this session gives you the answer. And I'll tell you why it gives you the answer. Go back to point 1. Point 1 tells you how to write this email. Point 1. Point 2, where you understand the pain. Let me go back. So curiosity. This is all building on the same thing. This document helps you understand the pains. This section tells you about don't give everything away. Create more interest to say, I can show you something. I can show you how to fix this if you're free. Create that curiosity. Create curiosity. Keep people on a cliffhanger like Netflix, end of season finale. They always say to you, to be continued, and they leave you, and you want to know more. Now, when you hear a bang in the street, a loud bang in the street, what is it? Because you don't know what it is. Every time you keep people guessing, you actually get more interest. But when you blast people with everything, it's very similar to the paradox of choice. I don't know if you've heard of the paradox of choice. It's where if you give people too much, they don't make any choices. If you give people too many options, they don't make any choices at all. And so there's a balance, there's a Goldilocks here of if you give them too much information, they ignore you or eliminate you or say it's not relevant. And if you give them too little, they ignore you. There's a balance in between that you find through testing. You find it through testing. So the curiosity really does matter. And understanding the power of curiosity in this process, that your emails to prospects, you're not trying to sell the product and get them hooked, oh, we need this, let's have a call. What you're trying to do is going, this is interesting to me. I'm curious to know how this could work. And that's the conversation bit. So your goal from your emails, your goal from your conversations on LinkedIn is not to go, we need this product, let's have a call. It's actually, this is quite interesting. Maybe it's worth having a chat. Maybe it's worth me giving you, as a prospect, 15 minutes. That's your goal. This is interesting. I'm not sure. How does that work? Interesting. Let's have a conversation. That's what you're trying to do. So email, LinkedIn is all about getting you to here. It's all about getting you to here. Now in social selling, you get the option of doing this bit, the belief bit, earlier. You get to be able, because through content on LinkedIn, you can actually build belief before you actually have a conversation. But on email, there's none of this, and you go through awareness, curiosity, interest, conversation. Hopefully, if you do the email right, then they get belief in your product and service and what you can do, and then they decide to buy. So the exercise there was sell the next step, not the whole road. So the next step, or the first step for you, is the conversation or the meeting. That's the first step. The second step is the proposal, where you're putting the proposal back to them to show them that you've articulated what they need and got a solution that can fix it, and help them see, not by logic, but by their own instincts as well, that you can actually solve their problem. So mechanics, LinkedIn, email, phone. This process does not work, or it doesn't work well enough. To be fair, it does work, because for every 100 you send or every 1,000, you send, you actually make some sales. So 1,000 here, 4 sales. So one in 250. Is that right? 1 in 250. For every 250 emails or LinkedIn messages you send, you'll get 1 sale, roughly. So it has a 99% failure rate. None of us would accept that from a salesperson. None of us would accept that as a legitimate and good outcome. We actually want a better success rate. So this doesn't work. It doesn't scale, and it creates systemic problems with your sales. It will create long-term problems with your sales. You'll have to jump from hack and tactic to hack and tactic to hack and tactic constantly, because you'll be exhausting your ability to generate revenue. Social selling works on its own. Little bit of work, in all honesty. If you want better sales and better value sales and higher margin sales, there is going to be more work. You can't escape that. There's no magic ticket. There's no magic wand. There's no lottery ticket. And if you can get clients on autopilot, if you can get clients on automatic, if you can get them without, whilst you're sleeping, you're probably not selling high value products B2B. The only way you can do that is e-commerce. And what a lot of people do is try and approach an e-commerce marketing and sales model onto B2B services, and it just doesn't work. It's too costly. It just doesn't perform. So curiosity in the emails to get people to pay attention so they want meetings. That's the primary goal. And then finally, just quit cold calling. Just quit cold calling. I've not had to do a cold call since 2001, I think it is. So 20 years this year. I've not done a cold call. I was pretty rubbish at them anyway. And to be honest with you, most people are. I've only met maybe 10 or 15 people who've been really good at cold calling, like really good. The rest of them have followed a script or deception or just churned numbers and hoped it works. So you don't have to do this. You don't have to do it, but you have to get your skill base higher. Now you can go, I'm never going to get there. You get there by implementing and trying. You'll make a few mistakes, but within 10 or 15, you'll have it nailed. Now, some of you will be saying, 10 or 15, I have to mess up 10 or 15. Yes, yes, you have to mess up 10 or 15. And you go, I don't want to mess up 10 or 15. I don't want to really wreck 10 or 15 potential client relationships. I don't want to embarrass myself like that. Hello? Hello? Most people who are doing this are messing up 99% of them. So if you get 10 or 15 under your belt, you'll actually end up in a position where you're successfully making sales. 20 years down the line, bearing in mind I learned when the internet was really bad. Do you remember the dial-ups where if you picked up the phone, it would cut out? I had to do this when it was that bad, yeah? But once you get into this process, you can really make a difference for your business. And the other thing is, it scales. It scales. So I'll give you an example from my team. We're reaching out and targeting 15 companies per day. 15 companies per day, that's it. And out of those 15 companies, we're getting meetings booked. And now what we're doing is we're expanding our own team so we target more companies per day. But it's personal, it's targeted, it's focused, and it shows them that we've done our effort and we can make a difference to their business. 15 companies a day. With email, that is. On LinkedIn and on social selling, we're actually talking to hundreds of people every day, thousands of people every day, and nurturing a handful. I think about 150 per month our team are doing each. Nurturing. Building a pipeline for the future, but revenue for today. Pipeline for the future, revenue for today. And so some people we're nurturing that might not become clients for a month, 2 months, a year. But we're actually also building the current pipeline of sales and revenue that we need to build our business and to grow our business and to make the revenue, the margin and profit that we need. And you can do the same. It's not rocket science. Oh, need a little minute. Oh, Jay, glad you like the new one for the new layout for this. Do we have any questions? This is a completely new layout presentation, adjusted and adapted for tonight. So we've never presented this in this way before. So some of the Maverrik team are looking at me going, I've never seen that presentation before. They've seen elements of it, but they've not seen it all laid out like this. Rex, happy, steal away. Just whenever somebody goes, Rex, that's really cool, say, I got it from Maverrik, you should talk to them. So look, unless you've got questions, I'll stay on until the last question. But if you're all quiet tonight, if it's Tuesday, Adam's asked this question about example of how personal we need to be. So Adam, on my emails, well, I'll come to the question in a minute. If anybody wants to have a chat, I'll put the email up on screen. If anybody wants to get the resources, I'll leave the email on screen now so that you can type it down if you want to email and ask for slides and stuff like that. So Adam's asked a good question. Are you going to give an example of how personal we need to go? So Adam, I have one version where I actually do a whole personal, I have a template of a presentation, of course, but I actually put personal information into that template that I've researched from the prospect's business. I put screenshots into it. I put all these details into it just to show them that we found something that could help their business and then ask for a call. And I have a salty type of email that goes with it as well. So just to get people's attention, to disrupt them, but then have a little bit of fun at the same time. And I put this presentation with it. So literally it takes our team maybe 10 minutes to make the presentation, but it's built off the research we've done into their company. So that's the heavy duty one. But then it could be, look, literally, I've been following you on LinkedIn. I've seen this on LinkedIn, and some people on LinkedIn aren't active. So I would reference my conversation on LinkedIn, or I'd reference that we're connected on LinkedIn. I'd say, look, I've been looking on the company page. I noticed this, or I saw this screenshot on the website, or this post on the website about something you're doing. I'd love to have a chat with you because I think we could add a lot of value in here. If you've got this issue or you've had this issue with this particular project, can we have a conversation? I'm not going to tell them how wonderful we are and how amazing we are and write War and Peace. I'm trying to prompt them into responding and replying. So it's a very personal, very targeted one-to-one email. Yes, you can have a bones of a structure, and yes, you can have the bones of a format, but it can't be a template that you just copy and paste. It has to be a framework that you can go, okay, we know these customers will probably have these issues. So we know that the tech sector has these issues with getting appointments with CTOs. We know that marketing agencies struggle to get in front of marketing managers and brand managers. So what we're going to do is we're going to design something about those challenges, and then we're going to share that with them, but we're going to hyper-personalize it and send it to them to win the conversation, to earn the conversation, because they see that we put a lot of work in, we've done the effort, we've shown them, we see their challenge, and asking them for a conversation works brilliantly. Any other questions? And I was going to say, Adam, Jay Unwin is in the chat here. If you find Jay Unwin on LinkedIn, give him a connection request, because Jay does some of our email presentations, so he could jump on a call and show you some of our templates so you could have a look at them. Anoop, how to get leads on LinkedIn? I've shown you in this presentation. I gave you a social selling checklist that you can get on email from us, and that social selling checklist, which is there, that will show you exactly how to do it. I actually, Anoop, would encourage you, I would encourage everybody to delete the word lead from your vocabulary. Just delete it, because it implies, I disagree with the premise of the word lead generation. What we do, we don't talk about lead generation at all. Nothing. What we do is we provide value to the world, we give that out, we show value, build credibility in us, build belief in us, and some people come to us and say, we need you. We go out and hunt, but we hunt in a relational, hyper-personalized way so that there is no lead generation. If you sign up for one of our events, the only thing you're going to get from us is a newsletter and maybe a little bit of free value once a week as well. That's all you get, because it's important to us that we build a relationship. So if you get the emails, you get the emails, but you're not going to get buy now, or any of that stuff. It's about value bombing you, value bombing our prospects so that they see the need for us, not us cajoling them or trying to generate leads. It's about building relationships, and that's what we're about. So if you're thinking leads, you're particularly on LinkedIn, you're thinking the wrong way. What you want is meetings. Yeah. So cheesy, but I'd say forget the word lead and go, all I'm interested in is meetings. I want meetings, 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 meetings. So meeting generation. That's what you should be thinking. Because lead generation goes, I'll get them into an opt-in, I'll get them onto my database, and then I'll follow up and sell them and sell them and sell them and sell them. And eventually they buy. No, I want a meeting. So some of the people who don't, when I reach out to somebody on email, they will have never heard of me before, but my email is so personalized, they go, I'll have a call. And so there is none. And then the structure of the call, we are going to do a session on the perfect sales call. So the perfect sales call, we're going to do that and talk to you about the fundamentals that need to happen in a sales call. The perfect sales call. Not cold sales call, but actually a booked meeting call, like a conversation, Zoom call, whatever you want to call it. So it's not a perfect cold call, it's the perfect meeting. The perfect sales meeting, the first sales meeting. We'll do that session. Anoop, absolutely. Focus on relationship building. Go through this process tonight, email us and ask for the slides, and tomorrow we'll send you the slides. And in then, when you've got the slides, you'll be able to go, do you know what? I get it. I've got the pain points and the challenges. I've got the curiosity piece, and then I've got the mechanics of building relationships, social selling, or hyper personalization, no automation to actually reach out to prospects and book meetings. So Anoop, I have five people in our team, I think maybe six people in our sales team, and their job is to do this. And everybody's got a challenge of having at least one new client meeting per day that they have to generate. Not inbound inquiry stuff, because we get lots of that, but it's actually one per day. And they're not allowed to cold call. They're not allowed to, send out pitch messages. They just have to build relationships or hyper-personalized outreach to people on email, and they have to do it one by one. And they're all still here. We're happy with our revenue, and we don't need ads to do that bit. Yes, we promote our free training because we've committed as a business to help 1 million businesses grow. So that might be that you come on this training, we never see you again, but this gives you an idea. It sparks something in your mind that helps you grow your business. Tick, we've hit a box on our mission as a business. And what we know is that if we help people, they will review us, hint, hint, Trustpilot, Google and all that stuff, they'll follow us. And if somebody hears about them and says, I'm really stuck with this, you can go, you should try that Maverrik. And that works for us. So look, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you much for joining us tonight. We will do another session next Tuesday. We're talking about optimizing your LinkedIn profile. 49% of all people on LinkedIn will view your profile and decide, 49%, so call it 50% of people will decide whether to connect with you just based on your what they think of your LinkedIn profile. So next week we're going to be talking about optimizing your LinkedIn profile to make it sing so that your prospects will connect with you. So do go register for that one. There's an email on screen if you want any help or resources or want to talk to one of our members of our team about this, or you need some help, or you want the free resources, just drop us an email. But for me, Dean Seddon, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to do the likes, follows, subscribes, blah, 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 for all that wonderful stuff that we need to make social media lovers. But I'll see you next week. I won't see you next week. It's Terry next week, but I'll be on the week after with another session. So thanks for watching and see you on LinkedIn.